As one of the world's most elite assassins, I accepted the mission to assassinate a corrupt president of France. Because of the heavy security surrounding him, I knew approaching him directly was impossible. So I targeted his son Elias. I went to the building where Elias worked. My movements were fast and silent. Using a silenced handgun, I shot him in the right thigh, enough to injure him, not enough to kill him. The objective was simple: send him to the hospital. After that, I returned to my temporary hideout on the 30th floor, approximately 4,000 meters from the hospital. I removed the mask I had used during the attack and began preparing for the next phase of the plan. I checked the weather conditions. I measured wind speed and direction. Everything had to be perfect for the following day. By morning, the news broke: an assassination attempt on Elias. I knew the president would not hesitate. He would go to the hospital to see his son, and there, he would become vulnerable. I opened my case. I took out a small windmill and pulled back the curtains. I removed a glass panel from the balcony and placed the windmill outside to calculate exactly how the wind would affect the bullet's trajectory. Then I opened the case again. Inside were the separated components of my sniper rifle. I assembled it carefully, piece by piece. I inspected the barrel first, straight, undamaged. A single flaw would ruin the entire mission. Once assembled, I attached the trigger and tested the mechanism. Everything was functioning perfectly. I mounted the scope and fine-tuned the alignment. Then I opened the ammunition compartment. Only 4 rounds, no room for failure. If I missed, there would be no payment. Through the scope, I surveyed the area. Crowded, chaotic, ideal for concealment. I tested the rifle's accuracy. First shot, off-center. I reloaded, adjusted the scope. Second shot, bullseye. While chaos grew below, I waited. At a distance of 3,815 meters, the bullet would take nearly 10 seconds to reach the target. Wind calculation was critical. When the target appeared, I waited for the exact moment. I pulled the trigger. A direct hit to the head. The president's bodyguards were immediately alerted. They searched for the sniper's position. I didn't move right away. I waited until they caught the reflection of my scope, making sure they knew exactly where I was. Then I disassembled the rifle and returned it to its suitcase form. I collected every spent shell casing, no evidence left behind. I set a timed explosive, not to kill, but to erase all traces of my presence. I activated the alarm and left the building calmly, as if nothing had happened. I loaded the suitcase into my car and drove away. As police units rushed toward the scene, I switched vehicles in a parking area. I planted another explosive in the first car to destroy any remaining evidence. The building exploded. The car exploded. With them, my presence vanished. Before leaving the country, I stopped at a pharmacy and purchased an antique chessboard, a harmless reason for my visit. Collectors raised no suspicion. At the checkpoint, security was tight. I posed as a businessman. I opened my luggage and showed its contents. They let me pass. The plan was a success. I left the country as if I had never been there at all.